Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Basement Sports Talk. You got myself, Braxton Lewis, Chris Lewis, Ty Stewart, and Damian Jones coming to you from the Eastern Kentucky, Western Kentucky area. We plan on doing episodes weekly, possibly daily. We're going to be talking about local sports, Kentucky athletics, Big Ten, SEC football, professional sports, common topics throughout the day, what's going on in the world, and stuff that applies to every normal American who is hardworking and likes sports and life. So if everyone wants to introduce themselves, Chris, go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Braxton. First episode. I think it's going to be great. A lot of topics. There's going to be a lot of banter back and forth. Can't wait to discuss the dominance of SEC football over Big Ten football. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Ty, go ahead.
Thanks, Braxton. You do a great job, man. I can't wait to get this underway with all you guys here. It's going to be very interesting. I can't wait for our daily talks about it.
Damian.
Hey, guys. Damian Jones, UK diehard. Obviously, the odd man out on football. That's all right. I got some knowledge to bring to you, fellas.
Yeah, so we're welcome to all those diehard Kentucky fans between the months of November and April, and those of you who want to be different fans during football season. So that's how we define diehard here at Basement Sports Talk.
That's a good definition for some.
Yeah. So the disclaimer:
Diehard.
we're all of us are diehard Kentucky fans, with the exception of Damian. During the fall sports, he likes Michigan, and whenever they decide they want to beat Ohio State, we might even give them some credit. So today we just want to start out. We want to talk Kentucky's transfers. We got Davion Mintz, Jacob Toppin, brother Obi Toppin, who was obviously successful at Dayton, coming in. Possible addition, a Purdue big man, and we're going to start off with that. So, Chris, what do you think about the two we got coming in?
Well, first of all, I think great additions in a normal year. However, to lose as many as Kentucky did from their roster, I don't know if they're going to give us the pop we need. And if I'm not mistaken, Jacob Toppin, we're not even 100% is going to be eligible this year, correct? I don't think that's the new transfer rule. We don't know that yet. We're adding a guy from Rhode Island that, as a freshman, averaged 5 points, 3.9 rebounds a game, but he does have a great last name. You know, if he can stay there 2 or 3 years and be like his brother, obviously a great pickup.
You think
what's the status on the kid from Purdue? Has anybody heard about that?
No, I don't have any information other than what I heard initially from other sources, what he was supposed to do something this weekend, but nothing came about of that.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get him. We surely do need him, because I don't know who we're going to have down low that's going to give us much production that we desire, especially definitely no bench work coming up. Do you think Davion Mintz is going to be able to be a successful point guard, senior leader for us?
I think he'll bring a lot of leadership. I don't think by the time we start conference play that he'll be the starting point guard.
Oh.
You know, I think Askew is probably who you're looking at, Damian, that would take that role. I think one thing we got to be careful about with this lineup next year is two people that we're going to be counting on heavily are just supposed to be seniors in high school. Both Clark and Askew were reclasses.
Right.
So, that to me is a little bit concerning. We don't have much leadership of any come back.
So is it safe to say that our 1, 2, 3 is going to be Askew, Clark, and BJ?
Man.
You
I don't
think
know.
Dante Allen maybe? Who are you thinking?
Is Dante Allen, is he healthy?
He's been healthy, apparently. That's what they say, but I don't think Cal would have played him if we even got to March.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Damien.
I think Allen is a threat offensively, all-around player, but he's still going to be behind Clark. He's a wing. I think Keon Brooks will be big for us this year. He has to mature and develop.
So you got Keon down there. What, he be playing the 4?
I think he has to be the 4, and then we're really thin at the 5. That's
who's our 5 right now?
Nobody.
If we had to play a game tomorrow, who's our 5?
Keon?
Keon Brooks.
Oh, do you throw in Davion down there? You have Terrence or BJ playing a stretch 4?
You know, I don't know. You know, honestly, if that kid, I think surely to goodness Cal's got, if this kid from Purdue who couldn't by all accounts start at Purdue, if he doesn't come, I don't know he's got to find somebody else, I would think.
Man, this roster coming up next year is, you know, a real big turnover, I think, more than really people are really realizing. I mean, honestly.
I believe it's definitely our biggest turnover we've had in the Cal era, especially with the talent drop off.
The crazy thing is, like, legit, we have one guy going to get drafted in the first round, and all 5 starters leave. It's hard to understand.
It amazes me. It really, really amazes me.
Yeah, I think the when the hammer dropped is when EJ left. I think we can all freely grant that I think that he, you know, made it no bones about it. He wanted to leave, but I really think that there was hope that he would have stayed at least to give us some continuity. You know, that somebody could grow up and do great things, kind of like you know, some of the the center. You know. That's the thing that we're missing this year. We just don't have nobody. I mean, Keon Brooks is a springy guy, hard worker, all this stuff. But, I mean, we have no known commodity right now at all.
You know who our tallest player is on the roster right now?
I'm going to say
6'9".
Ben Jordan. You think Ben Jordan's going to hop in and contribute to an SEC team that's going to do anything, even be a 6 seed in the SEC tournament?
Not happening, brother.
How did he only averaged 10 points for Wes Carter, didn't he?
Wow.
He had more strikeouts than points on the year.
I believe that.
He was a good pitcher.
Was he?
You know, what worries me, too, down the road for us, man, is a G League, you know, that continues to pump money into the program. I mean, and how Kentucky works under Cal. I mean, is that going to hurt us in the future?
I don't think it's going to hurt us any more than it hurt anyone else. I think you're just going to see a drop-off in the talent of college basketball, and you're not going to have – because all it's going to boil down to is Zion Williamson. So Zion Williamson, obviously, if he could go straight pro, he would have gone straight pro. But your guys like your Emmanuel Quickleys, they're still going to come to college, you would like to think. But then again, you got second-year E.J. Montgomery's going to the pros, and that doesn't make any sense either.
No, I don't.
Well, remember – a few years ago, I tell you one player that came to Kentucky that was a big contributor is Bam Adebayo. He's a perfect example for somebody that the G League will pick off. Somebody that comes from a background where his mom's having to work 3 or 4 jobs, right? And they offer him $500,000 for a year. That's tough for any kid to turn down.
You're exactly right, man. Exactly.
That's just like in The Last Dance. I don't know if y'all saw it, but Scottie Pippen saying they're giving him flack about his contract. But he signed a 7-year contract, getting paid about $2 million or so a year. But he said, I didn't care about the money. All I cared about was I needed money now and know it was going to be coming in so I could take care of my family. And especially when you get lower income kids, like that's what matters. Now, the Johnny Juice things of the world probably not so much, but kids coming from those rural, smaller towns, it matters a lot.
I agree that it'll affect some recruiting, but I have faith in Cal. When it comes to elite prospects,
Losing.
Damien, we lost you. I'm sure that was a really good point by Damien right there. Ty, what do you think about it?
Man, yeah, I don't know. It just worries me. I mean, honestly, I just, you know, it's not only Kentucky, as you say, it's going to be everybody, but, you know, it just seems like the talent, man, it's just going to go down, you know, as far as, I don't know. This worries me a little bit, the way Kentucky likes to recruit and stuff.
I agree. And we're back. We're sorry about that. We, first technical difficulties on Basement Sports Talk. Happens to the best of them.
Who's working our sponsor in right there?
We don't have a sponsor yet, but hopefully by about episode 15, we might have a sponsor. Anyway, we're talking about Kentucky's roster for next year, and that brings me into today. They dropped us down to 15 on ESPN's Way Too Early Top 25. I believe we were as high as 1 in like CBS's poll and a couple other polls for for next year. Dad, what do you think about the new top five they got for us?
Well, first of all, on one way, it's kind of embarrassing how far we dropped. I think we were the biggest dropper of any team in the top 25 in that too early preseason poll. But, historically over the last few years, I think last year was number 2 going in. You saw how that ended up. So maybe this will give a little, the underdog mentality to the team might help them out.
I've seen where they had Tennessee ranked top 10. Man, what they got coming in?
Well, they got Tennessee coming in at 13, and they got that one boy. Where's he from? Italy, Spain.
He's a European kid. The center.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They got the Santiago Versace point guard.
Yeah.
And you got what's his name? Fulkerson. You got Folky. The folk lord is what I like to call him.
Was that the Adonis hair boy that flipped it and flapped it all over EJ's head?
Fulkerson, yeah.
Had 30 against us.
Yeah, so that's what Tennessee's got going back. But, I mean, they'll probably beat us. And who knows, because we don't have Fulkerson right now would drop 50 on us. He don't have no one down low. What do you think about it, Damien?
I like being 15. I mean, it kind of tells you what college basketball is if we legitimately, as fans, can't name our starting 5 next year and we're still in the top 15. That kind of tells you where basketball is. Yeah. But I don't want to be top 5. We're not a top 5 team, nowhere near it.
I agree.
This is a legitimate question, and I'm not trying to stir the pot. At what point do you all see in the next 3 to 5 years, if we stay how recruiting is the $8.5 million we're paying worth it? I mean, I'm not trying to stir the pot. I'm just saying.
Absolutely, you are.
I'm just being honest.
I'm a fan of a college team football that pays $9 million for mediocrity.
Is a $7 million for an 8-win football team worth it?
Well, we don't pay our coach $7. It's like $6. But just think, we've talked about this before. He also brings in about $51.5 million a year to the budget. It's not what our basketball team brings in.
How much dark money do you think comes in from Cal and these players going back into the program?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's some.
The dark figure of money and credibility into the program and these kids.
I mean, who would y'all? Okay, this is a good topic we can talk about real quick if you don't mind, there, Mr. Producer. Who's since they've left UK? Who's been the top fan that's come for the school that plays in the NBA? That's a superstar. I'm talking about your John Walls, Anthony Davises. Who would you say is cheering the UK bandwagon the most?
John Wall.
John Wall, without a doubt.
Yeah, no doubt.
And he's the poster child for what Cal brought here.
And I agree to that. But let's be realistic. Where is John Wall in the footing of kids in the NBA right now?
I mean, injury. Let's preface it with that. It's not like he busted.
No, he's not. I wouldn't consider him a bust.
He's had 10 years in the league by this point.
I was like, he's 10 years in at this point.
3 of them injured.
Yeah, he's had Bradley Beal as a supporting cast consistently.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think Wall's a very good NBA player. I'm just saying you all talk about the dark money, and I'm sure there is a lot of people that support. And Karl Anthony Towns is probably second, would be my guess, as far as the biggest cheerleader for UK. But I find it disappointing, and maybe it's not his personality, that somebody like Anthony Davis is not rooting that Cal on.
I think that boils down to the type of kid. But Anthony Davis, he won us a national championship, so how much more does he need to be cheering for us?
Yeah, really. I mean, if you take Anthony off the team, we don't win.
I almost didn't win with him. So we don't have much of a roster coming next year. They dropped us ESPN here on their website. We went from 5th in ESPN's poll. I know we were 1 in CBS's. And they're pretty much saying now this 15 number is with them assuming that we get Matt Harms.
Oh, assuming we get him, huh?
Yeah, they denote that we're squarely in the mix for Matt Harms. So if we weren't even talking to him and he didn't list us in his top 10, I'd say they wouldn't even have us but 20, 25 range if we're lucky.
Who is in the top 3 to get him?
I don't have the list, y'all.
No,
We were the biggest name. We're the only name that you look at and say like it's a blue blood in college basketball. I'm pretty sure.
Well, the topic kid I think I've seen, was it Oregon, and who else was the other one he considered?
I'm not sure on him either, Ty.
It was Oregon and somebody else. I seen.
I
I
just
can't remember.
quick look here. It looks like Harm's top schools are Arizona, Arkansas, Boston College, BYU, Gonzaga, Memphis, Minnesota, Texas Tech, and UNC Greensboro.
Okay. Texas
So
Tech.
so us and Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Now what's interesting here, Creighton, we were 5th in this poll. Creighton was 2nd. And they note the reason for their drop is about Davion Mintz transferring. So I mean that's something to look at. That he was valued that much as far as their incoming team at guard play. So something to ponder. Let's transition here into football season now. Vince Tyree at Louisville, he had some comments today, and it's coming off the heels of a lot of states, Tennessee, Georgia most notably, saying that by April 30th they're going to let businesses start reopening. There's going to be some method to the madness, I believe, as far as what businesses are opening, but nevertheless, the stay-at-home order is getting lifted. But college NCAA, they still don't know if we're going to have fans. They don't know when the season's going to be. Chris Fowler noted that he believes there might be a spring season with fans, maybe a regular season with no fans. But old Vince Tyree up the road in Louisville said they're not having a season without fans in the stands, which is ironic since I don't know last time Louisville had a sellout. Definitely not since Lamar Jackson. So Ty, what do you think about Vince Tyree's comments today?
I mean, I don't really agree with that, man. I mean, my personal point, if you can, I know fans would give you more like momentum and stuff and carry you through, would probably get you 1-2 wins maybe. But if you're a good football team, you're a good football team, man. I mean, I think fans, what's been going on with the coronavirus and stuff, we haven't been able to do much at all. And so I'm definitely for football with no fans if that's what the scenario is, compared to fans in January, February, because man, nobody's going to tailgate. Nobody's going to show up but the hardcore, dedicated people. Like Chris here. Chris would show up if we're playing Eastern Michigan. It's 20 degrees, 3 inches of snow on the ground. Chris is going to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But everybody's not like that, man.
Damien, what do you think about it?
Let's be real. Vince Tyree can speak all he wants to, but TV money matters. The ACC matters. He can have an opinion, throw it out there, but he's a small fish in a big pond, and it's fine having an opinion, but I don't think it's realistic. Whatever NCAA.
So, Chris, let me ask you: does it really matter for Louisville football if they have fans in the stand? I know Ty hit on it.
Well, ultimately, I don't know that it will. I don't know what they're expecting with Scott's Tots up there this year. But here's what I say: if I'm not mistaken, is this not the first year for ACC just launched their new channel? I think this will be their football, if I'm not mistaken, for their ACC network. I don't think they had it during football season last year. I could be wrong on that. But regardless, I know Damien brought it up and it's a good point. That TV money talks. And my guess is if the ACC tells them, hey, you're going to play, then they'll play. But I don't think it can be lost either. A lot of these smaller programs, the revenue that fans bring in the stands, it's going to take a big toll. And that's one thing that these colleges are going to have to look at, how they're going to bridge that gap.
Here's a question for all of y'all. If your TV provider, if DirecTV or Dish called you and said, we'll give you $5 a month to add the ACC network to your channels, would you even take them up on it? No.
Well, I'll tell you this. I personally called Dish Network after this outbreak was come up here, and I canceled the SEC network. So I will tell you that.
Oh, what?
What?
That's breaking news. We need a breaking ticket.
I canceled it, and I usually get it back. I'll get it back if football season obviously is going to happen on TV. But I did. I canceled it because honestly, I haven't even watched TV.
What you been doing, Ty?
I mean, Netflix and just far recording shows, but we've not watched no live TV honestly at all since all this. I mean, if no sports is on, I'm not watching TV, man.
You would have missed. What about the drive against? They had the Virginia Tech game on. Of course, you were there live. I get it, but I mean, they've had all good replays on.
Kentucky Takeover.
Yeah, I done had it gone the time I was there.
Damien, they got a Big Ten network for y'all boys or what?
Big Ten was the first conference with their own network, actually.
Okay.
In Texas, having their own. So, yeah.
I'm not positive on the numbers of who gets better ratings, SEC or Big Ten network, but I'm sure they're comparable.
I'm going to say they're not comparable. I'm
So I think we're all in agreement. This is how I feel. I don't care, fans or no fans, come September, first week of September, I need to see football on TV.
Amen.
Yeah, I can get down with that. It will honestly crush my soul not to be there that opening weekend. And I honestly don't think with Andy Dandy that we'll be there. So it's going to crush my soul, but I do, that first weekend in September, I want to be seeing some football being played in the Bluegrass. That's for sure.
I got 10 days to pay for my season tickets, and I still don't know. I still don't know what to do because I might just be paying the money and just get a refund 2 weeks later.
So, Chris, what do they do as far as your tickets?
So that's what we don't know yet, Damien. I don't think that has been looked at either. I don't know if they say, hey, we're not going to have fans. We'll carry your price over to the next year. Or now they're going to start cutting. I think there's probably season ticket holders for UK football this year, I think was 40,000 people. So are they going to start refunding that many people? That's a lot of money.
The only email I got from the ticket office was the payment plan. They said due to the coronavirus, we're kicking back. So I think my first payment for the plan was supposed to be mid-April. That date got pushed back to 1 May. The one that was due on 1 May got pushed back to like 20 May. That third one was pushed back sometime in June. That's the only thing that they've said about it since all this has happened.
Yeah,
go on, Chris.
No, I was going to say we've already paid in full, so I don't know, what the recourse is. And then like this past year they had was it 7 home games, 8 home games? So we don't know if next year they're going to have the comparable amount of home games. So there's a lot of – I don't know how they would actually carry it over to the next season because you may not pay the same type of schedule.
So when do you think, they'll be making this final decision? Do you think 1st of May and 1st of June? What are you thinking?
What do you think, Damien? I'm thinking 15 May.
I'm thinking early June. You talking about the state of Kentucky in general or the NCAA for football?
For football. That's what I'm asking. Just football.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's coming in May. I think it's coming sooner. I think it's in the works to have games with no fans for sure.
Yeah, I do too.
And honestly, looking at the schedule, it may benefit the University of Kentucky more than any other team as far as schedule.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That not playing, how many you've been there, Braxton? The environment on the plains, is going to be nice without all them fans screaming at us if we play each other.
And that's my thing. You hear stories about these teams who scrimmage, have inter-squads and stuff with no fans, and the outcome is crazy. I'm not sure. One year Kentucky, didn't they have a scrimmage with the Warriors or someone of that nature in the NBA, and they ended up beating them? I don't know if that was their 38-1 team or the 2012 team. But I know they had a close scrimmage with the NBA team, beat them.
Right.
So I feel like it goes both ways. You could have matchups where, across the board, all 11 guys on that side of the ball are better than the other 11 guys, and it's going to be a wash. Or sometimes when you take out the bright lights, the cheering fans, it's just two guys playing football, I don't care if you're a 5-star or a 2-star, it's just two guys playing football. A lot less pressure, and you can go out and perform. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. It's going to be, I mean, the dynamics of it, too, of saying why we can have football without fans, with fans, to me is an interesting one, because you're looking at how many football players on a football team at a home game. They can only travel so many, I know, but at a home game, you're looking at, 100 and some players?
Plus managers,
coaches, TV people, So, I mean, what's the cutoff here? I don't know. I think we will have football in September, no fans, and then TV will do it. But it's going to be interesting.
Yes, it definitely is. I'm interested to see what really goes on.
Well, the good thing for me this year, I will say, is I don't have any 0-3 in the morning football games. That's one thing I'm grateful for. No more Belgium times for football games. But
sure.
I guess we will have to take up a little pot money so we can get not pot from pot, obviously.
Chris?
But get some money together for Ty so we can get the SEC network turned back on.
Hey, you want to start GoFundMe?
I will tell you this: if they, the SEC network will return to my TV when confirmed football is back on, and basketball obviously too. But there's just no sense of me having it on right now. I don't think.
You save about $6 a month, Ty?
11.
Oh, okay. It's a meal at the Sonic.
Yeah, you're right. That could buy me a pack of bologna or something.
There you go.
Hey, you used up Michigan T-shirt.
What's that?
Used up Michigan T-shirt.
Yeah, used up Michigan T-shirts.
Wow.
Damien, another question about sports. I know we're all looking at football and basketball next year, but speaking of baseball, are the Reds going to have the opportunity to lose a game at the Great American Ballpark this year?
At this point, we've already taken 2 out of 3 from Atlanta in the season. Well on our way to leading the division. There's no doubt.
We don't know.
This absolutely would be the best Reds team we've had in the last 10 years. Not that it's worth bragging about, but much better roster. Legit roster.
Y'all still got that outfielder who doesn't wear no sleeves, big muscle guy. What's his name?
Dietrich?
Yeah, y'all still got Dietrich?
Of course. We don't get rid of players until they're washed.
Until he's hitting about $150.
Weren't y'all supposed to have a great team last year? You were good until the end of May.
No. We started 1-9. We started off rough.
Y'all will have a pretty decent pitching staff this year. I will give you that.
The team batted .230 last year for the season. There's improvements there. I'm very confident. However, and we're actually in a winnable division. I mean, Milwaukee is going to take a step back. Chicago's taking a step back. Pittsburgh's terrible as usual. So it's winnable.
Yeah, that's the thing about our Bravos in the East. When you're playing the East Division, they beat up on each other. I mean, it's theoretically like SEC football compared to Big Ten.
The Marlins are solid every year.
All right, well, let's take the one, the uncommon denominator in that bunch. Let's just throw that out. I mean, I know Michigan has a hard time every year playing, the likes of Iowa State, teams like that. They're real hard teams to beat. Indiana, I would hate to go to Bloomington and play me a game up.
No, Bobby Knight out there at the 50-yard line.
I hate to go to Bloomington at noon on a cold Sunday or Saturday and play them.
Yeah, Vanderbilt, Vandy's solid in football. Every conference has bottom dwellers.
Wasn't Vandy the host to the best coach in the Big Ten? Wasn't he the first stop?
The best coach of the Big Ten?
Yeah.
No, you talking about James Franklin?
Yeah.
He's the Mark Stoops of the Big Ten. He's right in the middle.
James Franklin is.
He's fourth best coach.
I'd like to know who your number one is in the Big Ten.
Ann Arbor.
Is that when he irons out his khakis, or is it before then? Or
He's averaging 10 wins a season in Michigan. That's not terrible.
Hot take for you. Are his glasses prescription or are they just clear lens?
They're obviously clear lens, obviously.
So just to look cool?
Yeah, he has a different definition of cool than most people. He's a little different, for sure.
He looks pretty nerdy out there, but he wins y'all 10 games with a guaranteed loss to Ohio State, so you can't be too mad about that.
But as a UK fan, would you take 10 wins every year? You'd have a Stoops.
It's apples and oranges, though. It's apples.
I'd rather have 8 wins and beat Louisville every year than 10 wins, lose Louisville every year.
I agree with that. I mean, you're comparing Ohio State to Louisville football. That's apples to apples.
I mean, you're also – let's look at the history of Michigan football. It freely grant you that Michigan football is at a higher caliber than UK football. I'm just saying based off what they've had historically, you all aren't faring too well.
He's averaging 10 wins a year.
Okay.
Mark Stoops is 42-42 since he's been at UK.
500.
And you want a statue of him?
Mark, I've got a little background though.
Uh-oh.
Mark Stoops also inherited team when we talked about closed practices a little earlier. Braxton talked about basketball that lost to Eastern. That beat them to death.
And Jim Harbaugh inherited a Michigan team that hadn't went to a bowl game in 3 years. Didn't have a losing record and didn't have a 3-game win streak under Brady Hoke before he got there.
Yeah, but
In
that's
his first season, he comes out 10-3.
That's like Calipari coming to Kentucky, though. It's not hard to recruit to Kentucky or Michigan in football. Let's be honest.
You're not 5 players bringing a recruiting class of 5 players in basketball is not a football. That's totally not different. That's totally different.
That's what I'm saying. I can't believe he makes $8.5 million either.
Oh, the most overpaid coach in America. I grant you that, but he's a Michigan guy. He's not going anywhere.
Oh, I thought we was talking about Coach Cal. So.
If Harbaugh leaves,
apples to apples.
Harbaugh leaves, what now?
If he leaves, where do you think he goes to?
If Harbaugh leaves or Cal?
Yeah,
NFL.
Harbaugh.
If Harbaugh leaves, he goes to the NFL, and that'll never work out again.
No.
Nobody wants to put up with him more than 3 years. It's obvious. He's a wacko job, but he's a good coach.
Has he just got good assistants up there? Is that what is he able to attract good assistants?
You talking about Stoops?
No, I mean, obviously he's not able to attract the best assistants because Big Dog turned him down.
Big Dog.
Big Dog made a smart move. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, he turned down more money. But I'm just saying, Harbaugh's who's his best assistants right now?
The defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to wrap this up. Before we go, though, we're all been in quarantine, haven't been working much. Some of us are essential, some not as essential as others. So I just wanted to see, go around the table and see what y'all have been doing these times. I know we've had some developments down in the Highlands neighborhood.
The Highlands.
We got a new tomato planter. Chris, could you give us an update on that?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just got to be honest with you, gentlemen. I didn't participate this in high school, and I probably should have. I'm seriously contemplating writing my state senator about getting the honorary FFA membership. I'm now able to plant and currently grow a tomato plant that seems to be doing well. It's about 6 inches in height. It's looking good. I talk to it every night. I've got some tulips that are blooming. I got a rose bush. The other night we had a catastrophe with the freezing weather, so I had to go out and get some sheets from the house and some other warm blankets to cover up some of my stuff. But I'm telling you what right now, boys, this apocalypse going on, I'm about to a point where I'm self-sustaining. And that's just the truth of the matter. I do have –
you're going to be able to share those tomatoes with your fellow podcast members here.
Yeah, once we get them out, boys, we'll have a good tomato plant. Good tomato, fried tomato sandwich or something.
Bologna tomato, fried bologna, nice tomato.
Yeah, I love some fried bologna. But we do have one invasive species that's kind of giving me. It's kind of like these moles. These moles are wearing me out. I'm trying to chase them down right now. So once I get them, but I'm telling you, boys, these tomato plants, plant is it's a work of art.
Plant. So you just have one.
Yeah, and contrary to popular belief of people out on the ridge, I did some research. Just so you boys know, the tomato plant has both sexes, male and female. So you don't need two that'll self-pollinate. That's another FFA thing that, I'm just giving wealth of knowledge here.
That might be a bonus question on a test,
Good job, Eric.
Yeah.
Turk Stoll.
Huh?
I feel like I'm talking to Turk Stoll all of a sudden.
Well, I'm just saying, I literally need my corduroy jacket.
It would definitely match your hat.
Point, by the way.
I mean, my corduroy jacket with that big old emblem on the back. I mean, I don't know what else I need to do to get it.
I mean, you have a decent backyard. You should just plow the whole thing back there.
Well, I've tried, but I've got overruled. I literally wanted to get a raised garden, but for some reason, I can't get it. I don't understand.
Hey, let me bring that rototiller over that I got on back of my tractor, and we'll till that garden up back there in the back, buddy.
I'm all for it. We'll put cucumbers, green beans, all kinds of stuff.
That'd be awesome.
Now, how many tomatoes does one tomato plant produce?
Well, here's what I did. I got the big boy tomato. So the tomato's going to be a little bit bigger than normal. It's called big boy. So I'm hoping to get 6 to 8 off of it.
6 to 8
per week.
Well, it takes about 78 days for gestation. That's just the 12th on all, boys.
Just throwing numbers now. We're throwing numbers.
I'm throwing out dimes here. 78 days, we should have maters start growing, and then we'll have a little lesson. So 78 days, it'll take a little while.
Ty, what you been getting into?
Man, my work schedule, we've been alternating weeks. So work a week, take next week, of course, we're off with pay. So obviously that's not too bad.
Yep.
Just trying to work on a basement here and there. Going to try to finish up the floor in the morning, and hopefully get it done and get it ready for go for football season. Sounds like.
Now, just for people, just so they know, Basement Sports Talk. We came up with this idea. Ty is building a basement, finishing his basement, redoing his basement, whatever you want to call it. So that's the Saturday's pregame shows. That's where this all came about. So that basement's pretty important to our lifeline here.
Pretty critical to the operations.
So when you get that finished, Dalton.
Yeah, it will definitely be done within the next 2 weeks.
Damien, how you been holding up?
I'm good, man. I am extremely essential, apparently. I don't get a day off. But somebody's got to hold the bills down. But we work 5 days a week. We come home on the evenings, and we camp out in the driveway because we bought a new camper, and we can't go anywhere just yet. So me and the girls and camping out on the weekends in the driveway.
Yeah, yard ornament.
So now we can easily take the show on the road. I mean, we've got a camper. We can do
Live remotes.
Well, see, Damien, you guys talked Shannon, obviously. We already talked, Gainesville and Auburn are 2 games we want to travel to this year. And I mean, that camper now, that'd be pretty essential to us.
Yeah, we might
My
have to
wife
take
works every Saturday, so the weekends we can fly.
All
Are
right.
you going to get approval for that? That's the question.
I'm at this house. I don't ask for permission.
You're about the man of that house like I am too.
Right.
Yeah.
that camper will look good down there in the RV lot.
Hold up. We'd be on like the east side of the RV lot. It's just a pop up, my man. But it does sleep 8.
They still take your money though.
Right, I guarantee you. But
Does it got electricity so I can plug in my CPAP machine?
wow. We've got electricity, we've got an awning. I can always borrow my brother's ambulance, I guess, and take it.
Yeah. Yeah, that $5,000 ambulance. I'd like to have that thing.
Never know. Well, it's been fun, gentlemen. Like I said, it's Basement Sports Talk. Chris Lewis, Ty Stewart, Damon Jones. We plan on doing this weekly and at one point daily. You can find us on YouTube. Going to making a Facebook account, YouTube account y'all can follow us on. Please subscribe, tune in, comment, and we really appreciate you all tuning in and listening to it.
Okay.
Anything else?
Guys, have a good night.
Appreciate it. Y'all take care.